There we go. That's a little better. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. I am here, and I am doing a movie review. This is a movie that's called Breathe, and it's starring one of my favorite actors, and that's Milla Jovovich. Let me look at the spelling of her name. On the spot, I am finding myself. Yeah, Milla Jovovich, one of my favorite actors. She's so good. Everything from Resident Evil all the way to when I first saw her was in the movie with Bruce Willis. Oh, so sad what's going on with Bruce Willis, right? He had like a stroke or something like that. Uh, and that was not Event Horizon. It was, what was that? I think that was Event Horizon. No, not even, I can't remember right now. But Chris Tucker was in that movie. So we have Jennifer Hudson is in the movie. We have Common. He's in the movie. What's so interesting about Common being in the movie is that he was so forgettable. His character was just so super forgettable, which is kind of sad. It's like, hmm. And then we have, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. It's with a Quvenzhané hyphen E. I thought she did pretty good. This is the young the young woman she played. Let me see. Uh, what's the name of her character? Zora. So we have Maya, played by Jennifer Hudson, and then we have her daughter Zora, and then it was her husband Common, who, what was his character's name in this? Mm, I can't remember his name at the moment, and it's not coming up to where I am. Oh, Darius. That's Darise. So forgettable. Why is Common so forgettable in almost everything I've seen him in? Even in the movie when he was like playing an assassin, it's like, he has no muscle tone in his arms. I mean, is Common gonna lift a dumbbell ever? Is he gonna do any push-ups, or he's just gonna keep that look? You know, I can't hate him for it, but there's a part of me that's left wanting more from Common. At least to be remember. I want to remember his scenes. He's just so forgettable as a character, just really bad. Then we have Sam Worthington, which he's just another portrayal of the white man that they're warning us about. Will you take a bear in the woods? Would you rather be alone with a bear in the woods or alone with a white man in the woods? And they're talking about this guy, Sam Worthington, because his character is an ordinary guy who is out to help his group, and he's out to do whatever it takes to help his group, and then he turns out to be a selfish prick. That even in the end, he wanted no one else to win if he wasn't going to win. He is he's the man in the woods that you don't want to be around. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. So there's that. So what are you gonna do? Que sera, sera. I like the movie. I like them. I mean, if you're looking for a movie, you keep saying to yourself, "Hey, when can I go? What movie can I watch that's gonna be like, where I can watch with my kids? You know, this is the movie. You can watch this movie with your children. You can have a family night. This can be the type of movie that you watch with the wife and the children, and you guys get to root for, someone to win. No love scenes, no sex scenes, thank God. I would hate to see Carmen humping after, with his no muscle tone body. We don't want to see Carmen humping uh, uh, in the movie. That's so wrong. I feel like, I shouldn't say that kind of stuff, but, hey, this is the objective perspective when it comes to movie reviews. And I like the movie. I have to tell you, I would be not, I wouldn't be keeping it real if I didn't tell you that I kept thinking throughout the movie, wow, what a great family movie we have here. Like, this is something you can actually watch with the kids. I think it was really slow. But all these dystopian movies, all these post apocalyptic movies seem to be very slow. It is what it is. I like slow movies that move into a progression where where I'm being lured in. That's what I want to be. I want to be lured in. I want to be pulled in. I want to become emotionally invested in these characters. That's what I want. Was I emotionally invested in these characters? It's kind of weird to say this, but I was more emotionally invested in Malika's character than I was in Jennifer Hudson's character. There was a part of me that wanted to see Jennifer Hudson, like, you know, doing the dishes and just like harmonizing a song and, hit something with like some melody and stuff like that. So I couldn't forget the whole time I was watching the movie that this is Jennifer Hudson. She didn't come across as this character. This character didn't shine for me in any way. I didn't see her as, oh wow, this is like this great, we got this great cast of acting and she's just showing her acting chops. And no, no, no. I just thought that she was a bit contentious. She was a contentious woman. I didn't like the relationship with her daughter was that of, they were like huffing and puffing and, just drama filled to some degree. You're living in this small space and what you find is, a mother and daughter at odds with each other, and it was believable. Yes, it was very believable. The directing was good, but the acting was a little bland. I thought it was a little bland. But the story and the way it was done in a good enough way where I was thinking like, yo, this is something that I can watch with my kids. This is something that we can sit down together and we can root for this family. There were some scenes that weren't very realistic as far as the oxygen tanks go, because what we're dealing with is a world where there's the Earth has run out of oxygen. I don't know if it's from. They didn't explain why and how did we get here. That was totally missing from the movie. It wasn't. To me, it's like one of these movies that open up the door for like a TV series to be launched. If there isn't one already, I'm not sure. There could be. This is just me scrolling through my strolling through my feed. This popped up. I looked at the date of the release, 2024, sometime in April, and I was like, let me give it a try. And I have to say, it was decent. It was a decent movie. It was well directed. Acting was a little bland. Carmen was very forgettable. I couldn't stop thinking about Jennifer Hudson, and I wanted her to bust out in some sort of hymn. Like, and when I say hymn, I mean like just something where she's like washing dishes and just like humming to herself, or while she was doing her daughter's hair, while they were there, and she was like washing her daughter's hair, and I was thinking like it'd be great for her to just like, just get caught up in the moment and just fall into that singing style that we've grown to love about Jennifer Hudson. Just and when I say singing, I didn't even want her to sing. I just wanted to just hum, just like some sort of melodic melody. But she didn't do that, and I'm sure she doesn't want to do that. She wants to, she wants her acting chops to be respected, and she doesn't want to be typecast, I'm sure. That's probably what's going on more than anything else. But with that being said, um, even though she didn't start humming and she didn't, fall into that role, there was still a part of me that felt that it was like, it was like, I felt like it was missing something. Anyway, so the movie though, it's a tale, black stereotype style. Yeah, well, let me just say this: it's not necessarily a black stereotype style. When a mother is with her daughter and she's a singing kind of a humming kind of a person, these things are natural, and it has no limits as far as black, white. It could be an Asian woman humming while washing her daughter's hair. It could be very natural, but it's obvious that she doesn't want any part of that. I'm curious. Had it been suggested, and if it was suggested, had she said, "No, I'm not doing that. Come on, come on. The character doesn't need that." Which I think the character did. It needed a little bit, like the relationship between the mom and daughter wasn't so. It wasn't very secure as it was with the father and daughter. The father and daughter's relationship was truly solid, and I did like the part where he's leaving his father. The movie opens up, the fastest. How they always make the joke where the black man gets killed so quickly. This story is truly a black man was killed within the first seconds of the movie opening, which was Common's. Darius. Let's stop calling him Common, even though his acting is quite common. No, Darius' father falls through the floor of a building. They seem to be scavenging, maybe scavenging for food, cans of food in this dystopian, post-apocalyptic, post can't, I can't breathe situation. Eric Gardner situation. What's up, Elvis? What's up to you, Casper? How are you? Grill Prince, how are you? True Asians do it. Yeah, we all of us as humans do it. If you have that in your soul to be melodic, then you will. It's very easy to just get into that. And when I say, like, when you're doing dishes and you're washing hair, these things put you in like some sort of trance. In a very comfortable space where your your true self your true self truly shines in these moments of relaxation, so to speak, or it's a rhythm. Washing hair, doing dishes. These are rhythms, and these rhythms create, these kind of relaxing opportunities to express yourself through music. And I just wanted that from her character, knowing that she can sing so well. But I do understand that maybe she doesn't want to go there. So we also have we got this guy Common, Darius, and he tells the daughter, like, listen, you got to promise me when I'm gone, he's gonna go bury the father, and he wants to bury the father in a particular spot. That it's like, I have to bury my dad in this particular spot. Mind you, we have to leave with enough oxygen that's gonna get us there and get us back, because the earth is no longer producing oxygen. Did the rainforests shut down? Did the earth stop spinning? Why do we not have any oxygen in the earth? What led to that? Was it war? What led to us depleting the oxygen from the earth? They never get into that, which is okay. I would have liked to hear a little bit of the science involved in that. And this father decides or he saw the future and how the earth was moving in this certain direction, so he creates some sort of bunker with these oxygen scrubbers, or CO2 or hydrogen scrubbers that was allowing them to breathe. And we find out when Malika's character shows up, she shows up with two men armed, knocking on the door and saying like, "Listen, I know your husband. We were in college together, and I would like to. I need to see your oxygen sensor. I need to see your oxygen, whatever scrubbers you have. I need to just take a look at it so I can duplicate it for my my group, which is in miles and miles and miles away, in another state, Philadelphia. So yeah, in Philadelphia, and there's this huge amount of tension about like, do we let these people in? Like, when you're all alone, no one is. Someone comes knocking on your door and they say, "Yo, I know who your husband is. Open up. I come in peace." It's like, like, open up. I come in peace might be the last thing you hear. And one thing we've learned from all the zombie movies is, you know, the people that survive the zombie apocalypse are worse than the zombies. That we've totally have come to, we've come to truly understand. So it was kind of interesting how clumsy Malika and her two cohorts were, along with Jennifer Hudson and this character Zoe or Zoa or whatever her character is, her daughter's character, how clumsy they were as far as protecting themselves, knowing how to shoot properly. These people could not shoot to save their lives on both fronts. So it was kind of like interesting. I kind of liked that they were not, they were makeshift scientists. Like the father taught his daughter all about these, oxygen things. But anyway, the father leaves to go bury his father, and he never comes back. And then Malika's character shows up with two men armed. They have oxygen tanks and they're armed, and they're like, "Yo, we come in peace." And they so kind of came in peace, but they came at it a way to. It's like it's believable though. What I liked about it was that, all right, you're Malika's character. You're listening into a CB radio of a young lady talking to her father, who has not showed up after 5 6 months of going to bury his father. So, and it's pretty realistic because recently I went through. I mean, I could actually show you. My wife, her father passed recently, and I was looking through the phone, and let me show you. Look, you see this? What does it say? Can you see that? It says grandpa, right? This is grandpa. And my daughter, he passed a few months ago, and on September 16th, my daughter writes this. You don't have to screenshot that, but she's like, "Hey, Grandpa, I hope you're doing good up there. I love you so much, and I wish you were still here. I love you with all my heart, and do anything for you to still be here. Love you forever." So it's very realistic that a daughter would be on the CB radio talking to her dad the way my daughter still texts her grandfather who's been gone. She's even set this up here. She's telling him, how she misses him. It's like, it's really sweet that she's texting him still. So to see the girls on the CB radio talking to her dad, who hasn't shown up, who's most likely dead, It was very believable, and I was touched by that. It was super super sweet. And what we have is Malika's character is like listening into this girl talking to her dad, and she uses that as a way to convince her group, like, listen, I'm gonna go over there. I kind of got an idea where they're at, and I'm gonna convince them to let me in. I'm gonna see what kind of stuff they got going on, and then I'll bring that technology, or at least the knowledge of the technology, back here to help this group. So she goes with two guys. They're armed with guns because they never know who they're gonna bump into on the way there. And then you can kind of understand that at this point we don't have enough oxygen to get back. We're not gonna make it back. We're here. You got to open up the door. And if you don't open up this door, we're gonna figure out a way to get in. Okay, and violence is gonna have to happen. And we don't know how to shoot, but we have guns with bullets, and we're gonna just start shooting. We're gonna start fighting. We're gonna start. Uh, we're gonna do whatever it takes to get this door open. And I like that. I like that it was done so awkwardly and so uncomfortable. And the guy that directed it did a good job showing the clumsiness of these people. These are just regular, these are like school teachers and gym. These people are like the everyday guy who's out there trying to survive in a world where there's no oxygen, and you have to create the oxygen. So I like that. I thought that was cool, and we also find ourselves in a situation where the mom had to convince the daughter was locked in the space with one of the two guys, and that one guy, he had happened to get shot. He bleeds out and dies right around the time that he tied the daughter up to a table. So now the daughter's inside this bunker tied to a table, can't get out, and the mother is outside with Malika. So she's like, wait a minute, I know where the other key card is. There's another key card for us to get in. And that was the one that the husband had. So they had to take the electric solar powered vehicle, which was like some 2000, mind you. There was a sign in one of the stores that said like basketball championships of 2040 something. So we're talking about, this is like 30, 40 years into the future. We're in 2024. So 34, 44, was it 54 or 64? I can't remember. But it was at least 20 to 30 years ahead of our timeline. And they was able to show that by showing the sign of that NBA team, or the NBA jerseys that were available, and the signage. That signage kind of let you know what timeline this was. So we're talking 30 years into our future. The Earth has no oxygen, and she was able to convince Malika, like, listen, let's take this ride. Let's go to where I know where my husband is, and the reason why I know where he is because he sacrificed himself. He was able to calculate the numbers and see that if he stood there in that facility with his wife and daughter, there wasn't enough oxygen for them to survive. The place could only hold up to two people. And so his father and him being there, like, in other words, his father dying was some sort of blessing because that gave him the excuse to then sacrifice himself. And the mom was able to get right to him. She knew where he was going to be. It was in Prospect Park. It was a place that they always would play, so to speak. And she gets there. The car runs out of battery power, and Malika is she has to go back on her own. She leaves the mother behind, and she shows up to the place with no mom, and the daughter's there with this guy. The one guy dies from bleeding out. The second guy's there, and he doesn't care about where the mother is. All he wants her to do is take a look at what we need to do so we can help our group. And when she opens up like these panels, She realizes that they are in a situation where I don't know how to replicate this. I don't know what to do. This place is only good for two people. We're screwed. And he like out of nowhere, dun 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 dun. He like, spoiler alert, he blows Malika's freaking head off with a shotgun. This is that whole man in the woods versus bear in the woods, where all these women are choosing the bear in the woods because we're constantly being bombarded with the idea that the man left to his own devices is a evil, horrible person. And that troubles me because it seems like we can't get away from the man and the bear analogy in every movie. And it's the white man they want you to be afraid of. They want you to be terrified of the white man and his ability to just reconcile his evil. His evil is cut so deep that at any moment he can tap into it and be that. And that's like frustrating for me watching movies. Even though, despite the fact that I think the movie was kind of good, it was directed well, mediocre acting, but it was directed well enough to where you can sit down with your family and have a good time watching the movie. And it was Malika's character gets blown away, which such it was such a surprise. Was it as a surprise as when what's this guy? He was standing there giving this big speech, and then the shark jumps up and snatches him and chews him up and kills him. Samuel Jackson's character, was it that like that? So, oh, I say yes. Remember when Steven Seagal was on that plane and something happened and he just died in the middle of the movie out of nowhere? What the hell? Yeah, it was kind of like that. So that was kind of cool. We need a nice little surprise, and we get to the point where they were able to, while the mom was gone with Malika, the daughter was able to find out where this group of people were, and it was at some sort of train station, and they decide to trek on their own because this guy, this horrible, horrible man, he wound up blowing up the whole place because he was shot, he was bleeding out, and he was like, F it. And he just like, he knew there was way too much hydrogen in the air. And if he was told that if he pulled that trigger, then we're all going to go. So he pulled the trigger. Like, F y'all. And they were forced to move or make it to Philadelphia. They were able to make it there. And of course, they were able to, like, the day was saved and the whole group. And then it kind of shows you the group of people that was there were like a kind, thoughtful, caring group of people that were huddling together to try to make the best of a bad situation. Hence, this character of this guy who is traveling from PA to Brooklyn to get Malika's character to just see if she can fix this situation that they were in. And then he comes to terms with, you know what? F everybody. All I care about is myself. And I just thought that, hey, Mary Jane, how are you? Hello, Big E. How have you and the family been? We've been good. We are very good. Thank you so much. And it can be better if you donate it at $ Elvis Rosenberg. I tease you. I tease you. Even though you are many, many times been some of you're my best donator when I was doing all that gym working out and stuff like that. So Mary Jane, I appreciate you. I've taken a little break from YouTube to deal with some family things, but I plan to come back really strong with the premium black news. I know, I know, I got you. I tease you. I tease you. No, it's not a big deal. Um, but we look forward to check the movie out. Check the movie out. I think you'll like it. Like I said, it's something good. It ends on a happy note. Was I ever worried about Jennifer Hudson's character being stuck in Prospect Park with a car that battery died and she didn't have enough oxygen and somehow she wasn't gonna make it back, and the young woman, the young girl, the daughter was gonna have to fight this man off, fight this proverbial bear? Not really, but it's still a good movie. There I go. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning into my show when I do reviews. And Premium Black News will be back tomorrow, Sunday. I will be back with Ulrich, the educator. Hopefully, we will not have the issues with the sound that we've been having, and the interference, and we'll have a good show. And I love you, and that's a fact. Thank you for tuning in. Check out Breathe. It's worth it. I think so. Boom.